Are you having a hard time finding a job or struggling financially? It's not your fault. The information that the government is giving us about the unemployment rate and about the inflation is severely tampered with, and they're gaslighting us. Just like they're gaslighting us about why we need to be at war, just like they're not even talking about the real issues in our country, like the homelessness, the bad education, the rising crime, the hollowed out cities, the loss of manufacturing. And they're not telling you why we have to keep interest rates high because no one's going to buy our shitty bonds, which we can never repay. This is not your fault. People I know are having a hard time finding a job. They can't find a full-time job. And I first started noticing this years ago. When I got divorced in 2013, I was working for a company consulting for school districts. This is my LinkedIn. You can look it up. And they were paying me as an independent contractor $35 an hour. No benefits. I had to pay all my own Social Security, 14.5%, my own health care. And even though it was a good job, great opportunities, wonderful opportunities, I have to say, the pay was shit. And when I eventually quit, because I came out with my book, The Fuck List, I had to quit. There was no unemployment. I didn't file for unemployment. Even if they would have fired me, independent contractors don't get unemployment. So that's the first thing you have to know, that more and more of the jobs in this economy come from people who are not employed, so they by an employer in a full-time type of a way. So they don't get unemployment. They don't file for unemployment. You have to pay into the unemployment system in order to get unemployment. And if you're a gig worker, DoorDash, Uber Eats, any of this stuff, you're not going to get unemployment. Like today, I was at Walmart because I had an optometrist appointment. I have a great optometrist at my Walmart. I've been going there for years, but otherwise, I'm a snob. I don't shop at Walmart. I think I'd rather go to Target. I do not like Walmart. I only go there for the optometrist. But while I was there, I did some shopping, bought a bunch of groceries and cleaning products. But there were a bunch of people there pushing their carts around doing Instacart. That's how they're making their money. So I want to show you a clip from someone I watch, his YouTube channel, Michael Bordonaro. He makes a lot of really good videos about what's happening with unemployment, housing, inflation, and the economy. And I'm also going to recommend Jack Morgan. He also has a lot of videos and TikToks and people calling to his show talking about their experience with the economy and how tough it really is. Okay, so let's watch this part now. I want to turn this up so you can really hear him.
That to me is a sign of a strong economy, like we keep being told. And here's the other thing. Not only does this woman's story prove that the job market is completely in the toilet right now, but it also proves my theory that people are not filing for unemployment when they get laid off. So this uptick in unemployment that we're seeing is way understated. Like, think about this. Unemployment's going up right now, but it's not going up nearly as much as it should. Because somebody like this, who's literally been laid off 3 times in the past 3 years, is not on unemployment. She's doing freelance work just to get by and have some income, but she's not on unemployment. So people like this are doing gig work, they're doing freelance work, and it's faster and easier to make ends meet and get money right away without filing for unemployment. And so on the one hand, it's great that these type of opportunities exist in the economy today that didn't really exist during the great financial crisis, but it shows you the problem with how the government and how the Fed is collecting and analyzing this unemployment data, because it's going up, but it should be skyrocketing right now because there's so many other people out there like her that cannot get jobs, and when they get one, they get laid off sooner than later.
I'm going to link the video to his video in the description of my video, okay? But this particular woman had applied for something like 300 jobs over the past few years and gotten, I think, 3 jobs that lasted on a temporary basis, and she has a college education. The only people I know that have jobs that are college educated, they have jobs in either engineering or they've gone to graduate school, okay? When I kind of already got the impression about the difficulty of finding a job that was kind of in my field or so on. Even 15 years ago, and I thought it was because I'd been out of the job market so long as having been a mother. But it really wasn't that. There just are not that many opportunities anymore for people in this job market because we have done so much outsourcing of our jobs. We've sent so many of our jobs to overseas. Other jobs have been automated. And we're an empire in decline, frankly, okay? All this is just going to get worse, in my opinion. It's just going to get worse. I also know people who are looking for work and they're not able to find work. And Michael Bordenara in another video, or someone called in to the show or something and said, was it Jack Morgan's show, that he works for a company, he's a recruiter for a company, they have all these job postings, and he brings people in for interviews, and they're really good candidates, and no one's ever hired. So I do not know why they have job postings, if they're just trying to keep the energy going of the job postings, if it's just like to make the appearance for Wall Street that they're actually hiring or doing better. But we do know that there are a lot of layoffs happening. And the number of jobs with full benefits is really shrinking. When I was a young wife back in the late 80s, early 90s, my ex-husband had a job with free healthcare for the entire family. Free healthcare for the entire family. It was Blue Cross Blue Shield, no copay. It was really good insurance for the whole family. And then it changed over the years to where we had to start paying more and more of the copays. He also had 401k and stock option sharing, vesting. Okay, that was back then. I do not think this is that common anymore. They've really just tried to eke every ounce of productivity out of people. And when they say rising productivity, they mean we're going to fire a bunch of people and make you work twice as hard. That's how we get our rising productivity in this country. Okay, so fewer people are having trouble getting jobs. They're not counted in the unemployment statistics. And a lot of the jobs that they're creating are low-paid jobs. When I was a realtor, I was talking about this long before, because in San Diego, most of our jobs, San Diego is a low-wage town. You have to know this. We're not a high-wage town. I mean, sure, we have some rich people here, but honestly, we're a low-wage town. Our main occupations in San Diego are either military, which is very low paid. They don't make any money at all. They're very poor. That's why the military pays their rent, their housing costs. They don't even make enough to pay their own housing. The government pays their housing. So it's military and hospitality, tourism, hotels, restaurants, retail. And another big employer in San Diego is medical. Yes, it's very sad. I'm not talking about medical helping you be better. I'm talking about for sick people. One of the main sources of job creation is healthcare, not necessarily high-paying doctors or nurses necessarily, but anything in healthcare. That's where the hiring is, government hiring. You cannot sustain an economy on government hiring. So if you're struggling financially, it's not your fault. But what we really need are people to think outside the box. And that's why I became a bookkeeper. People will always need a bookkeeper. And you know what I'm talking about. There is a demand for bookkeepers. I have not been impacted by the slow economy. Thank you, God. So I am very fortunate. I got out of the system by working for myself about 10 years ago. So I would really encourage people to use this as an opportunity to work for yourself. There's still people who have money. There are still people who are willing to pay for good services, whether you're a bookkeeper or a mechanic or a doctor or a dentist or, a massage therapist. I don't know. There are still people who have money, and what we have to do is start being more productive instead of, I don't know, but you leave your comments and tell me what you think, because we have so many underemployed people and unemployed people, and I think when we want to make a change in this country and give ourselves a chance to grow financially and be self-supporting, I think we either need a graduate degree in a field that's actually hiring, or you've got to start your own business, because we have to reinvent our country from the ground up. Okay, just counting on our politicians to save us, or do like, what did they do a long time ago? They had these big government projects that put people to work. The only things putting people to work now is the military. And that's not even the government. That's what they're funding. They're funding the military. They're funding shitty financial products. They're funding pharmaceutical products. And none of these have to do with health and our prosperity. So we have to not let them gaslight us. We cannot count on them to lead us, because they're not. One more thing. All of you Trump lovers, I mean, yeah, he's charming and whatever, but he's no different. Don't forget, these Trump lovers who want freedom, most of these Trump lovers, including me, not as a Trump lover, but as a freedom lover, I did not get the vaccine, the COVID jab, which is not a vaccine, because it doesn't prevent you from getting it. It's a gene experimental therapy. They call it a vaccine because they're gaslighting you. And the only reason they were allowed to roll it out as an emergency vaccine, untested, was under the law. They can only do that if there's no alternative treatment available. So they banned ivermectin. I don't even know if ivermectin works, but they banned all these other things, said nothing else works, so they rushed it through, and Trump did it. Trump gave us the jab. Trump gave us Fauci. Trump started the lockdown. So don't forget, you guys are just like falling for a con artist. Biden is a con artist. Trump is a con artist. And Kennedy, he's also for the war in Israel, which I don't like, but he has been fighting, and he's got money behind him to sue. He just sued and lost. CNN just lost because they're trying to keep him off of the debate stage. And he just won a lawsuit. I just saw it in my emails today against the Federal Election Committee, FEC, I think it's the Federal Election Committee, that they can't exclude him. And Jill Stein, I'm on her email list. She's the only anti-war candidate. She has been, I think, sued by the Democratic Party because she got on the ballot in Nevada with triple the number of signatures she needs. And they're still trying to push her off. So don't give me this fucking word democracy. We are not a democracy. Biden and Trump are the Democrats, Republicans. They control everything. You think Trump is so good? He gave you Fauci, that asshole, narcissistic piece of shit. Oh, if you don't trust me, you're against science because I'm science. Bullshit. Little dick guy, Fauci. Fuck you, Fauci. Trump gave us the lockdowns. Don't forget, he gave us the lockdowns and handed out trillions of dollars. I think he did it, maybe Biden too. I don't remember when they did that. I think it was during Trump, which caused the huge inflation. He never required any testing or any discussion about it. It was just Fauci, follow Fauci. He kept the war in Afghanistan, and now his son-in-law Kushner is already eyeing Gaza as a place where he wants to expand his real estate empire because he's eyeing the coast as prime real estate. That's your Trump. So you guys are just fucking idiots if you think he's any better. You might find him amusing, charming, funny, entertaining, but to think he's for liberty, you're stupid. Okay, you're just dumb. Also, Trump, one of the biggest donors to his campaign is the Shell Adelson Foundation, one of the Zionist Nazi genocide actors. He's dead now, but his wife just gave Trump hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's funded by Wall Street, the Genocide Committee, the pharmaceutical industry, all the same as Biden. Biden is funded by Wall Street, military-industrial complex, and he has a different Zionist donor. Zionist being one of these Jewish people that wants to exterminate anyone that's not a white Jew on their land that they claim, that they stole from the Palestinians. Don't forget that Israel was created because in their bullshit book, in chapter X, verse so-and-so, which they stupidly believe because they're idiots, it says that they're the chosen people and that they can just eliminate anyone who's there. So they got the land from the Palestinians by UN charter, but they were supposed to coexist with the Palestinians. But they lie because they're just like Hitler, except instead of using gas chambers, they're using bombs. Okay, they're exterminating a whole race because they think, well, we're superior, this is our land. Just like we did with the Indians, just like the Germans have done, the Persians have done throughout history. People have exterminated the races that they thought were beneath them. But somehow this goes against, what people are kind of okay with now. So Biden is funded by another Zionist donor, just a different name. So they're all funded by the same kind of groups. They're not for liberty, they're for control, and they're gaslighting you. So if you can't find a job and the economy sucks, because they're telling you, and they're telling you it's good. So you think, am I going crazy here? Something doesn't line up. Yes, you're right, it doesn't line up because they're feeding you bullshit. Okay, this is what they should say. Okay, if I were President Biden, which I have no chance of getting elected because I'm way too honest, I would be assassinated first, but I'd be like, okay, you guys, we gotta pull this country together. We're in a deep pile of shit. We ran up a bunch of debt we can't repay. Our military empire building is out of control. We have been using our feigned supremacy to rule other countries and push them down and control the EU and dominate people with our bully tactics and putting our money overseas to dominate and control while we have ignored you, the people. And we are going to make a U-turn. We are going to start prosecuting crime. We're going to stop investing in military expansion, and we're going to put that money into educating people. If you want welfare, you have to go to school, you have to learn a trade. We're going to start these following programs to help retrain you, and we're going to rebuild our country from the ground up. And instead of being degenerate, gay pride, pink hat, and the military bullshit, we're going to get back to honoring our masculine power, our warrior spirit, and we're going to actually be productive again. And we're going to start making treaties with other countries. We're going to honor the treaties. We're going to start honoring the word with other countries. And we're going to start building alliances because we're going to compete with BRICS, and we can. And we need you all to pull together. No more separating Republican versus Democrat. We are America. We're one America. We're going to pull together. We can do it. Something along those lines. I'm not like the greatest motivational speaker, but what they do to gaslight you further, they're dividing you. They're telling you Republican versus Democrat when I've just already gone over the fact that they're the same. Okay? They're pretty much the same. They all want illegal immigrants for the cheap labor. Both parties want it. Okay, Trump was talking about a wall. There was never a wall. None of the Republicans went along with it. They don't want it. They want the illegal aliens, and they want us to hate each other and fight over each other. Okay, I don't even want to watch any of that stuff. Candace Owens versus Piers Morgan. Like, you guys are just all drama queens arguing about stuff. Like, just get something done, just make a change, do something that actually makes a difference. So if you're feeling like none of this makes sense, you're feeling checked out, that's because none of it is making sense. It's not right. And that's why people don't want to date and get married anymore, because they feel like there's no hope. I can never buy a house. I'll never be able to buy a house anyway. What's the point? Okay, that's nothing wrong with you. You're seeing what actually is, and the people in power and the media, which is complicit, are making you think that you're crazy, and that's called gaslighting, when they will not acknowledge your reality. But if you think you're crazy, start asking other friends, start asking other people, just see what they're going through. Can they make ends meet? You know, are they debt free? And look at the cost of cars, $40,000 for a car now. It's like doubled. Okay, something's going on, and they're not telling us, because if they can just make you think it's your fault, you won't complain, you won't vote them out of office, you won't march on the White House, you'll just blame yourself. And that's what an abusive boyfriend does. According to the YouTube videos I've watched, they gaslight you and make you think you're crazy. So that's all I've got. Check out Michael Bordenau's channel. He talks about the economy and real estate and stuff every day. He makes a video every day while he's walking around. And I actually got one of those walking sticks because I thought that is super cool. I want to do that, but I don't know where to walk, and I don't really want to walk anywhere in my neighborhood. And then I feel like if I walk around, are people going to look at me weird? I'm a little too self-conscious, but I really should do it. But where would I walk around? I can't do it at the beach. It's super, super loud. The waves are just too loud. Can't do it at the beach. And I don't want to do it anywhere near where I live, because I don't really want to do that. But let me know what you think about the economy, what you think about the job market. I'm really here for the comments. And thank you for watching my video.